So Dave Marsh, head coach of the LA Current. We're going to talk strategy. Your strategy in this match. Lots of changes. What's been happening?
Well, I think one of the biggest thing is it's the last match, and so in a perfect world, we'd have people doing events that they want to work on in the finals, but other things have played out in the meantime, so we've had to adjust. And what I mean by that is we, coming into the meet, we have a couple of people that are missing and a couple people that are sick. And so we've had to adjust our full lineup, our men and women, because our women are a little bit short on several people. And to cover that, we have to strengthen the men's lineup. So I would say we started with one strategy, and because of the circumstances, we have to change to another. And I think this happens with a lot of the teams. You know, we're COVID tested all the time. Honestly, when you get that COVID test and it's like, we're all negative, it's like, yes, it's like one of those moments where, okay, we can carry on. But we had some other things come about, and so we've made some adjustments. Another big change for us is Tomo has arrived, and he had a great European Championship 100 fly that looked like he was going to tear it up there at Europeans, but he had to leave after the first day. He got sick there, and so still some mystery and questions. We are trying to couple people out in new events and trying to get Javier Acevedo to see if he can really get that 200 IM down and become a factor in the final. And then at the end of the day, we can't assume the finals because honestly, DC is a very strong team. They have lots of strong swimmers. They don't have that many holes. And with our vulnerability, we have to watch out for DC and make sure we finish at least ahead of them because that gets us into the final automatically.
So for people that don't quite understand the strategy of the ISL and just think, oh, you put your best swimmers in your best events, to speak. Yeah. 12 men, 12 women, and it's how you choose to make the team up depending on who is available or on what you want to focus on, whether it's the relays, individual events, etc., and what the other teams have got.
Right, exactly. And sometimes you're adjusting based on what they got. You know, with Sarah Sostrom in the lineup in this meet, you might adjust people to know that, look, basically, you're not going to beat her, let's say, in the 50 freestyle. We actually have people that can run her in the 50 freestyle, with Abby especially. But let's say the 400 freestyle with Siobhan. It's like, do you go out and try to extend yourself the first 100 and outswim Siobhan the first 100? Probably not. So you can sort of settle back in and make your race that way. So I think it's one of the exciting things about the ISL. You have this combination of, yes, you want to put your best lineup together based on your team and then based on other teams, and then really based on the psychology of the team. Like there's just people, Anastasia Gorenko, she needs a break from the IM. She's been doing it over and over and over. So the compromise is right now I have her in 5 events today. Yeah. So it'll be a bit of a marathon for her. 2 of them are 50s, so she's not too intimidated by that. But still, 5 events is a big challenge in a 2-hour format. But she's young, and she's okay to be challenged here, and we'll learn a lot about her.
And that's a different way of putting your team together, as in the strategy for the session, not necessarily her best events, but potentially what could suit you come the final if you make it, right. or the lineup here against these other teams.
Correct. And then as we move towards skins in this first day, so at the end of this session, we'll have to pick what if we earn the right to take out a stroke, we'll be impacting what the skins are. And so right now we're focused on trying to pick skins that helps us compete against London and Energy. If it looks like DC is also ahead of us or in that situation, then we may pick skins to try to affect DC. So a lot of things happen within the segments of the meet because you'll see some changes from the original lineup happen, and especially as you get towards skins, determining who you're really going against in the next day. And
it's not necessarily the team like an Energy. We're all thinking, actually, we don't mind Energy taking points. We don't mind giving Energy points, but we don't want to give them to London or DC.
That's right. And I do think we're a better team than LA's ever been in terms of that. But that's when we're at full speed, full health, and everybody's here. In this situation where we're missing some people, we've got to sort of figure out how to be the best we can be, and knowing that hopefully next week, assuming we make the finals, that we'll be able to really put together our best lineup and give the whole thing a run.
And I noticed the last match, you flipped things around on the relays. First match, kind of London just jackpotted all over the place, and then you switched things around and played them at their own game.
Yeah, and this week actually we're going the other way with it. So because we're missing one of our key females on the team, we're going to try to not get jackpotted on the 2 women's relays. So we're actually splitting the relays. And I wouldn't say this if this was going to be presented before the meet, but at this time frame, this works. But so we're going to split the women's relay and try not to get jackpotted in both of them. One relay will be a little bit better than the other. But if we don't get jackpotted, that's worth more points than if we got, say, 3rd or 2nd, and the second group got jackpotted. So that's the plan there. Our medley relay, a little bit the same, where we want to be in the top 3 teams, top 3 of the 4, so we affect the pick of skins, and of course for team points. So we'll have one relay that'll be a little stronger than the other, but both of our medleys are pretty good. You'll see Maddie Wilson leading off the B relay in backstroke because of the adjustments we've had to make. She's long course at 58 backstroker, so hopefully she'll be able to at least go 57 or so to get us going, and then we have a pretty good relay after that. And actually my daughter, Alyssa Marsh, will be anchoring the B relay because we're short one freestyler. So it'll be a very interesting match, and I'm sure if you ask each coach, they'll all have different ways they're going about setting up their lineup. Interesting on the men's medley relay with Tomo coming in, we have 2 super strong men's relays. Really our only weak leg, so to speak, is breaststroke, but our back, our fly, and our free are all very, very solid. And our breaststrokers, we're turning Javi into a breaststroker over the course of these meets. The guy never raced breaststroke very much at University of Georgia, and he came in and we just noticed him in workout. It says, boy, your breaststroke looks really good. Have you ever raced that? I did a medley relay once in college. It was pretty good. Like, boom, you're in it. And now we're really trying to groom him as a breaststroker because of our need. And again, that's something that goes on in ISL. You actually can be developing athletes in some off events if they're helpful for putting together your total team.
Cool. Well, listen, good luck. I know this is halfway through the session already, but
yep.
There you hear it. It's not as simple as just picking your best swimmers for the best races. You've got to shuffle your pack depending on who you're up against and do what's best. Not necessarily beating the best team, about beating one team, especially at this point, to make the final.